Handshakes and high fives. Yep. Calling Chef single, that's what we like.
Macro and mana, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to the one and only Sheth, who is in the purple trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the west of this, the Shattered Temple, versus his opponent, the one and only MYM SaSe. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the south.
And we'll have to see, well, does SaSe send out a probe around 9 supply to actually scout for this Overlord, or will that get in there? And see, we'll have to see what both players decide to do with that. Will Chef reveal it? Will he not? And so on and so on. In these positions, you are expanding away from each other. You are close by air, though, so you should always think about Phoenixes and Void Rays like that. And you should be getting a nice Evo chamber up early anyway. And especially because SaSe opens up with a very fast DT rush in the first game, you might want to add that anyway in the second game for a safety precaution. Yeah,
I have to wonder if SaSe will actually repeat that build. It wasn't as effective as I would have liked, perhaps, but it did put Sheth in a kind of awkward position, and that's something to consider. So we'll see as to whether or not that ends up happening. However, with the position of this Overlord, Sheth's going to get some great information. Wouldn't really surprise me to see some kind of fast expansion right here from SaSe, perhaps?
I don't know. I think he's going to wall off, first of all. He has also scouted the Overlord that came in, and he's now going across, and will be able to deny any fast expansion from Chef. And the way that this pylon is placed now, he's going to be able to wall off here with a Cyber Core slightly up to the left and have a nice small gap for Zealot there. And yeah, he will be going for some kind of one-gate expo here, definitely.
Yes, I would expect that at this point in time. Well, well, well. Chef is having to battle for supremacy right now. Oh, Sheth, so very close to taking that probe out right there. But yeah, he is already one game behind. It's currently 1 to SaSe, 0 to Chef in this best of 5 series.
And I mean, I've predicted SaSe to be a really great player for a long time now, and I'm happy that he's showcasing it again in such another prestigious tournament, and I'm happy for him. At the same time, Chef, back fresh from Korea now, has had a lot of training again in the US, is sat down, not jet lag, no nothing, is good to play against SaSe. And we do have a bit of a pylon block here, with that pylon throwing that down. And Chef unfortunately can't expand right now. Is mining gas though, and we'll be going for that speed upgrade shortly, and will expand shortly after those lings are out.
Yeah, there were rumors we would actually invite nobody that didn't have a username that began with the letter S to this tournament. We're doing pretty well. We had, I think, 4 in a row, and I believe at least one person made the joke that a Minecraft creeper was the guy picking all of that. It's a very nice playlist you have there. It would be a shame if something were to happen to it. That's creeped out most people. That's why it's called a creeper, folks. That's the whole point of it. But
they're not sitting next to you, though.
Yeah, I get to see him visibly cringing. Yeah. Oh my, that's a very nice co-cat that you have there. Sheth trying to make his way in there. That's not going to happen. SaSe preventing that quite nicely. Once again, taking 2 gas, but he's only mining really from one of them. He's got 1 probe in there. It looks like he's going to put in another 2, but that's a little bit later.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why he does it, he wants to keep full saturation on that main base. You can see the 16 there, and so that he can keep the minerals nice and high, so he can expand a little bit faster than normal, and that he doesn't really like slow his gas down by that much. And as you can see, there's 1 in there now. We'll be putting in another 1 very, very shortly from here, and continue like normal, but it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's like, oh my god, he's only mining from 1 there. What's he gonna do?
What does it mean?
It's quite normal.
Yes, absolutely. That's just the way that SaSe actually does it, and it works pretty well. So we're not expecting to see any kind of DT nonsense coming in at this point in time. He certainly does not have the gas to support anything of the sort, and he hasn't started the Templar, the whatever the hell it's called, the Twilight Council. Yes, that thing.
And it looks like we are going to see an expo now, and then he will be building a pylon short. He doesn't want to let these lings in. We'll use the 2 sentries as out to push them away. They do not have speed. They cannot really threaten SaSe now. And as you can see, that supply depot, very annoying. He would have preferred to have a pylon there and wall off with 2 gateways, but never mind. He can go back a couple of months' time and put the pylon at the north side.
Yes, those things do prevent certain things from happening, which is kind of annoying, but hey, that's the way that the actual maps are balanced at the moment. Temple Circling's on the way up for Sheth right here, who's deciding to either get aggressive and try and maybe overwhelm his opponent, which I don't think is really going to work. Forge coming down right now in a fairly solid wall-off, although he might be able to catch these sentries out of position. SaSe pushing forward immediately.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to force more units to be made, and especially bringing the probe too, it's going to freak out Chef a little bit, and we might see in the production tab. It seems see if Sheth actually falls through it. Will he build units now? He might see that it's just a handful. He might not. He might just stay with drones. And I like that response, actually. Just a spy and curl, a few more lings. But still, he's carrying through with this, and there are a lot of lings out because they were used to kill the gold rocks.
Yeah, and he's going to be able to nail down some of these reinforcements by the looks of it. He surrounds the sentry, nails it down immediately, goes for the zealot, and down it goes, and off he goes. Sheth actually might make a run for the base right now. In fact, yes, that's exactly what he's going to do.
And is SASe going to be able to respond in time here? He's actually going to pull the lings back to defending it since there are a lot of units out.
It's a bit dodgy with 2 pylons coming down right here. Could be expecting some pressure. There's the quick cancel right there. Sheth is going to be forced now to build roaches, and he's also pulled all his drones off the line right there.
That's crazy. I don't think he should be doing that. I mean, he's trying to prevent the units going into the base, but I think that's a huge mistake now. And force field incoming, definitely. Can he defend this? Roaches are out to pop, though.
Yes, however, the question is, where are they coming from? There are roaches, there are actually Zerglings coming from the top base, roaches from the bottom. A very smart play, considering one is certainly a lot faster than the other. And SASe's aggression has been thrown back for the time being.
Yeah, and I think SASe wants it to be thrown back too. Look, 10 lings in production now, roaches were made, drones off the line, spine curl made, enough now. He's pulling back, but nice counterattack, actually.
Oh, very clutch warp in right there by SASe, who is able to prevent that at the last possible second. He may lose a photon cannon, indeed, there's the cancel, but Sheth is going to get cleaned up quite easily right here.
And nice keeping that zealot there. We'll clean it up nice and easy. Unit tab now, 29-32. More lings in production, though, and he's going to clean up that pylon. He might try to pressure, though, because the cannon was cancelled. He might try to go now and squeeze out a few extra force fields, get rid of that energy.
It would be a good time as well, because he actually just supply blocked SASe, who only just started a pylon. So this is going to hold him back for a little while. He may end up losing 1 warp gate cooldown, which is going to limit him just a little bit.
Uncharacteristic, there was 100 energy on that main nexus by SASe, getting a little flustered here. He does know that Sheth is single, so that could be the reason. And he is getting rid of it now, but to no end, really. He's supply blocked, so he's not really using it efficiently anyway. Both nexuses are being chrono boost, but not building anything. So surprisingly, despite Sheth being this machine, or this monster, he is still able to make mistakes, which he's doing now.
Yes, well, right now, though, I think that Sheth is in a good position. I mean, he's sitting on 43 drones versus 32 probes. The income is looking really great for Sheth, and he's going to be able to take this third on the gold, no less. And SASe not in a position to attack right now. He doesn't have a large army. He's got some zealots. He's got a stalker, adding on a second one right there. Going to break his way through there, which is going to give really great access to Sheth, actually, who is looking to deny a third.
And these overlords are in great position too at the south, the bottom left to the Nexus, and we also have the one on the main Nexus. These overlords wish they could cliff jump, but unfortunately they fly, so they're going to be staying there. And I love that Sheth was going to work on the back structural rocks. And I'm kind of surprised why he didn't continue with that. I think he should. To kind of open up a pathway to harass that third base later on.
I have to wonder if that was actually deliberate. He left it on fairly low health. Maybe he could have left it on a little bit lower than that. Admittedly, SASe just checked it, and he's seen exactly how much HP those rocks have. I was thinking maybe he was preparing it for an attack later on, as opposed to breaking it down, which of course would force SASe to get really defensive on that particular position. In the meantime, Sheth just macroing up as we expect Sheth to do, really. Transferring now to the gold base, which is going to give him an absolutely fantastic economic advantage. Hey, free pylon.
Free pylon. And it's going to go down. Pressure this Nexus. Nexus cannot go up. Nice play here by Sheth. Meanwhile, keeping true to himself, the macro-orientated Zerg, adding on a lot more drones, is currently at 51, will be at 53 shortly, which is basically two base saturation, and he's added on a lot more units now, understanding that this is a kind of a timing push area for SASe to move out. As he gets this third base secure, he could look to push out, adding on a lot of units here. Could even be going for a big launch attack onto this third base.
I'd be more concerned about this Dark Shrine that's going up into the natural expansion of SASe right here, which Sheth, I cannot imagine, is expecting. He does have one Overseer on the way up, but we can have a look at his Spore Crawler coverage. It is there. I mean, he has one in the middle right there, which is sort of covering this. This base right here, the gold base, very, very vulnerable. In the meantime, Sheth getting aggressive. Supply blocks. Actually, in fact, Sheth got supply blocked right there. Oh, it's a Roach Donut, but there's the Burrow. Very nicely played there by Sheth. He's going to be able to smash through that forge. More Zerglings coming in. It's SASe in a very desperate defense right now. Force field, there's a hole. He breaks through, and Sheth might be able to crush this force right now.
And the Overseer struggling to, I mean, not the Overseer, sorry, the Observer struggling to get back to help out, and SASe just doesn't have the unit count.
He's trying to hold it as best he can. However, Sheth has a great concave. He's raining down a lot of damage right here on SCi2 that does have a +2 weapon upgrade, but he is heavily outnumbered. He's thrown the probes in as sacrificial lambs. I guess he didn't like them anyway. And SCi2 now sitting on 4 Stalkers while taking a lot of damage, but here comes a DT warp in, and Sheth was not expecting that.
Yeah, and he will be able to hold on to this, but to what end now? Look at the probe count, 27 to 59. And this has left me wondering, I mean, is the latency really affecting SaSe this game? He just doesn't look like the same player from that first game. Everything was clean, everything was executed perfectly, but this game he's fallen a little bit sloppy.
I wouldn't exactly say it's because it's really been about his macro and his build orders. I mean, latency doesn't really affect that. I haven't seen any real miss micro here. I mean, those force fields to one point, SaSe was in a great defensive position. He was just completely outnumbered. And of course, he's going up against Sheth, who is no slouch himself. So I don't think so. I honestly think that SaSe is just being outplayed here, and his build order was not great. He's just lost the Nexus right here, which is hardly an ideal position. There's an Archon warp in coming in, and deciding that he doesn't want to use those DTs, he'd prefer to have some Archons out, and oh, Archon cancelled there. Sheth smashing his way through. Those roaches just will not stop.
Yeah, and they are +1, so they are doing a lot of damage here. 12 more in production. But I mean, while this is going on, he had the opportunity to build up some drones, go up to 67. He's now got 5 more in production, what would put him at 72. A comfortable mark to just build units, units, and units, and just wave after wave after wave. Because he knows SaSe's money is minimal. He needs to get that natural backup. He needs to saturate the third base. And there's just pure units coming out from Sheth now. He's at 136 out of a potential 200 supply. He's building a Spore Crawl and Spine Crawl on that 4th base in anticipation for some DT harassment. He's just looking in a great, comfortable position right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't really be concerned if I was Sheth at all. He's going to throw some Hydralisks as well, just because, hey, why not? Might as well get them in the mix for some fantastic range damage. Admittedly, if he leaves SaSe alone for too long, this could prove to be dangerous, but the army count is not exactly what I call in favor of SaSe. 37 to 87. SaSe now looking to take the gold base. He's already taken this one at the back, but he did lose his natural in the process. And the DT Shrine remains up, however, even after that damage.
And in comes Sheth again with a huge wave. Might even catch SaSe out of position.
And it looks like he might as well. He's trying to waste the force field, as far as I can tell, because that was nowhere near all of his Zerglings. He's got all sorts of possibilities right here. SaSe in a defensive position. The Roach is looking to get in there, and oh wow, he snipes off the... That is it, as far as I'm concerned. He just sniped off the sentries. SaSe is crumbling right now. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Sheth is right back in it.